Welcome to Twist Talks, where we talk about the Japanese game Twisted Wonderland.
We discuss theories, headcanons, and other random nonsense about the game and its characters.
For the sake of spoilers within our podcast topics, we will only be discussing the international release over the Japanese release.
Hi, I'm Talissa, and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, I'm Caden, and my pronouns are I don't give a fuck.
Hi, I'm Wonder, and I use any pronouns. Twist Talks stands by Palestine and does not support the Disney Corporation's decision to support Israel. For the moment, all three hosts of Twist Talks are choosing not to support Twisted Wonderland in any way financially, and we urge any and all listeners to do the same. Okay. Hi. Okay, so today we are talking about Glorious Masquerade, which just ended, I think, like a week ago at this point.
Probably.
Yeah. In case you didn't notice, there was a very interesting episode posted last week, mainly because we couldn't find time for all three of us to record. So Talissa and Caden got to do one on their own, and that's what they chose. So,
I think it was a beautiful episode.
Sure. This week, though, it is just me and Talissa because... Well, why isn't Caden here?
Because they didn't play the game.
They had a whole month, basically, from the time the event started and to now. And they didn't finish it in time.
I literally finished this at like 3:30 today, and it's almost 9 o'clock now, so like I didn't get it done until today.
I played it while it was happening, so I don't know what you guys were on, but I played it while the event was happening, which is not normal, so... not normal for me.
It's fine. So yeah, this is a duo episode today.
Uh-huh. So you get 2 duos in a row.
Oh,
okay.
Well, now I guess we've recorded duos with everyone, because I did one with Caden last week, one with you this week, and then whenever you air that, there's a recorded one that's you and Caden. That I have.
Well, but the main focus of that one is I'm gonna label it as Caden solo, because that is mainly...
I don't know anything about it, really. I know vaguely what it's about.
It's another interesting one.
I'll probably listen to that when it comes out. Be the only one I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yes, this was a very long event. It had 5 books, and my main complaint is how many lessons I had to spam. It was like 480, I think. I don't think I got all my lessons done until like day the event ended, because I just didn't think about it. So I didn't start playing until Halloween, and then I just spammed the lessons, and I was like, I'll read this story later. Right now, I just want the cards. And I succeeded. I got them all. But like, way too many lessons. And battles. Just...
Oh, I think I have...
That's just my opinion.
At least the amounts that were required for...
Oh, yeah.
The stamp missions, I think, were 150 for Ruggy, 50 Flight, 50 History, and 50 Alchemy to get Riddle, 150 for Rook, 150 for Silver, and 150 for Deuce. So...
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. To get all the stamp cards, at least. Wow. Anyway, should we just get into the story of the event?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you remember it?
I do remember it. Do you want me to give like a brief run through?
Yeah. Well, you start. I have a shit memory, so and I also was playing it as the event was happening.
So The game starts, if I am remembering correctly, which, again, there's a rather good possibility that I am not, that Crowley announces that we have been invited to this big fancy ball celebration get-together with all the other arcane schools in the area by Noble Bell College during one of their, like, big festivities. So, like, very, very good opportunity. Let's everyone get super excited to go. Like, everyone's pumped. And then he goes, but wait, this is during our own Halloween event, so I'm picking 5 people. Not 5. I'm picking 10 people. Okay?
Yeah.
Only 10 of you get to go after I made all of you excited. And he's like, and I will pick them in the most equal opportunity way I can think of. I put all your names in a box. And I want to get this right, so I need to pull up the characters that are there. So out of the characters that were picked, there is Azul, Deuce, Apple, Edia, Rook, Silver, Ruggy, Sebek, Jamil. Am I forgetting someone?
Not technically. It's Azul, Edia, Apple, Sebek, Jamil, Riddle, Ruggy, Rook, Silver, Deuce. They were all chosen through the raffle. The 11th character to go on this trip was not.
Well, no, because I read 9. That's why I'm confused. I counted 9.
Well,
Nope,
I said all of them, so if you did miss one, I covered our bases.
I think I thought I said Riddle already, so I skipped him on the thing.
I think I remember hearing you say Riddle. I don't know.
I said Ruggy.
I hit all 10, so
yes,
if you didn't,
those are the ones that, were pulled. Then there's the characters reacting to it. So, I loved the Tweels reaction because you have Floyd, who's pretty much just like, how come you got to go and I can't? I'm gonna destroy the lounge and everything. I don't want to do this unfair. And then Jade's just standing there all prim and proper, and he's like, I would also like to throw a fit if that's allowed. And Azul's just like, I literally don't care, but you better still do your work.
Which, if I may comment, boyfriends.
Yes.
They're dating, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Yes.
And I know you agree with me, so.
I do. I just found that so funny that Floyd's like throwing a tantrum and Jade's just like, can I also do that?
Yeah, that was so
do
funny.
I have permission?
Yeah.
I love that. Then, you have Ace complaining that Deuce was picked. And then you have Sebek throwing a fit that him and Silver got picked, but not Malice, not Wakasama over here. How dare? Not even Lilia was picked, and Malice is just like, dude, have a good time. Like, it's fine. But then, while he's in the middle of the, like, how unjust this is, and by the time he gets to the point, like, okay, since it is in order for Malice to have a nice time, that is what I shall do. And then Crowley shows up, and he's just like, so, I told Noble Bell College the list of students that we were going to have, and they have personally requested that Malice comes because they want him there. And Mal is just like, an invitation? I've been given an invitation? So he gets to go, and he's so excited about it, and it's so cute.
It's so cute.
I love it. And then, because we're the main characters, we're there as, like, staff or something.
We're moral support.
Yeah.
According to Edia, we are moral support.
Yes, I love it.
I love that. That's, like, one of the few specific lines that I remember is, like, Edia, like, we show up for them, and Edia goes, yes, we have moral support and a cat.
Yeah, he's like, we have the football and moral support. Like, and emotional support, and I'm like, honestly, Edia, through all of this, like, mood, he's just like, I have to be around people. Like, same dude.
Genuinely, it's really a toss-up between whether Mally or Idia are my favorite part of this event. Because they're just both so... Mally is so soft in this event, and Idia is just so fucking funny.
So relatable. I, too, would not like that situation. Like, I think I'd do it...
What?
I don't think I'd like that situation either. Depends who I'm with. Like, if I know I got to go with a group of people I'm already friends with, but if I'm in Idia's situation where the only person I talk to here is Azul at Board Game Club, and Azul, I would also be uncomfortable. Like, he wasn't even allowed to take ortho, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, you poor baby. Like, you should have
his
been.
emotional support, little brother robot.
I think that should have been allowed. I think so. But anyway, so yes, that's who all is coming. The group of 10 is now 13 with Professor Train as our chaperone, which gets very mixed reactions from the crowd, which is kind of funny.
I also love Train in this event. I don't know why. I just do.
Yes. Him talking about his wife and how they like honeymooned there. It was so cute. Did they honeymoon or vacation? I don't remember.
I think it was just a vacation.
Either way.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Oof, I have an ad for thrift books on my computer. They're really tempting me right now.
You got an ad for what?
Thrift books. And like all of them are like the Twisted Tail books.
Oh my gosh. You already have all of them.
No, I don't. I have all the ones available in hardback in America minus the anthology because they decided to take the most recent two and only give us paperback, and I am spiteful about it. I'm very spiteful.
Well, that buying new ones from thrift books won't change that, because I assume they also don't have the hardback ones.
No, currently I'm purposely holding out buying them until they give us hardcover, but once I read the two other ones I own, I'm probably gonna cave. But yeah, so tangent over. So anyway, we get here and we are met by Rolo. I don't like his haircut. His bangs are a straight line halfway up his forehead. It looks like when the little girl I babysit cut her own bangs. Almost exactly. It's not a good look.
Have you... Oh, you don't watch anime. You haven't seen Haikyuu.
I've seen the first season. I don't know characters.
No, this is in like the third season. I will send you a picture of the character I'm thinking of. So what it makes me think of, to listeners, Goshiki from Haikyuu, because yeah. Or maybe Shirabu, I don't know. Maybe a combination of both, although Shirabu might just be more so because of the hair color, but It
looks like someone who tried to cut their own bangs during quarantine. That's what it looks like. That's what it does. Also, throughout this event, you just have random clips of him standing by a fireplace and laughing like a crazy person.
Yeah. Which is totally not, foreshadowing that he's the villain.
As you do.
He's the one masterminding this whole thing
obviously.
At all.
Me just standing in front of our broken electric fireplace. No. So yes, we're greeted by him, and we learn that he is the person
I sent that in our group chat.
It's fine.
Caden's just gonna have to decipher what that means now. Anyway.
So yes, we find out that he is the one that organized all of this, him alone, and that pretty much what is handled through the 7 house wardens at Night Raven College is just all on Rolo. He is the student president of the school, and then there's like student council person and aide or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like vice president and their aid.
Yeah, they're pretty chill. So yeah, you know, they welcome us, give us a tour of the school. They take us to see the beautiful Bell of Solace and all that. After we have to go up lots of stairs, and same Edie and Azul, I would be dying.
Yeah, me too, honestly.
Like, no stairs. Train talking some more about his wife, and so sweet. And then they're like, we have a bit of time before, you know, we have to, like, meet so, like, they have a bunch of other schools there. There's some Royal Sword Academy people, some other schools not mentioned. Like, everyone's there.
Yeah, specifically, of the Royal Sword boys, we have Chenya and Naish, because they're the only named Royal Sword boys who aren't
so they
the
don't
dwarves.
have to make new
I
characters.
love both of them, so I was very happy when they showed up. And then also Chenya immediately started teasing Riddle, which made me so happy as a Chen Riddle shipper.
It's beautiful. But yes.
Anyway.
So I'm going to see if I can find what they were called. Oh, I'm trying to think. Because so they had it where they were going to go like look around, have a little tour, and you know, so they split up into groups of like 3, 3, and 4 or something.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, but first, before they split up into groups, they changed into their...
They changed into fancy clothing.
Yeah. Which, you want to take a second to talk about the designs for this event like we did with the Violet Sky ones?
Sure, yeah. Let me pull up their pictures.
I love all of them.
They are really pretty.
I think the only one I have any gripes with is Jamil, and it's because of the hat. Other than that, they're all so beautiful.
I was like, I like Jamil's. What are you talking about? Show me pictures.
It's the hat.
It's not showing me pictures, and I'm salty.
I think it's Jamil that has the weird hat.
Yeah.
The like tall hat.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, it does go very nicely when he has his mask on, because it blends into it.
I guess.
But other than that, like, his outfit alone, I think I like his outfit the best. Like, if I had to wear one of these, I'd pick his. Minus the hat. I don't wear hats. If you want to give me just the gold
hats, so hats
part
are a
as,
major
like,
factor
a weird
in my decision.
tiara, I would take it.
What?
I'm like, if you want to give me just the gold part as, like, a weird tiara...
Yeah. And honestly, if I had to pick one to wear, I would probably go with Eppel's, just because androgyny is fun.
I'd get too annoyed by his fluffy shorts. I'd get annoyed by them. I have thick thighs. That just wouldn't work on me.
Also, I've recently realized that I have a very deep love for OG fashion, so... and
fair.
Eppel's outfit is very OG, I feel like. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Fair.
But also, we got to talk about, while we're talking about the designs, we got to talk about the big one. Malice is so pretty.
Malice is so pretty. I love his groovy art so much. It is beautiful. Yeah. Both of us managed to get his card for this. I got it on like my last possible... The last pull I had enough gems for, and then also the last card of that pull. So I was so happy. He is stunning. Look at that beautiful art. I will comment.
He's on both of our home screens.
Yeah. I will comment that I love his groovy art, but the like animation for his character that they have, so like what is on my home screen, I don't like that much, because it just seems very flat and like rectangular. I don't know how to describe it. There's just no dimension to it at all. And like, it just seems very boring. So like, Mally's always been on my home screen, except for the like week I had it as Azul. And then I switched it back to Mally, and Azul cursed me by not giving me any freaking cards. Like, Fairy Gal Ortho. I'm so mad about that. It's the only one I actually spent money on, and I didn't get it.
I will hold that over you both forever.
Oh.
Until they rerun it for the anniversary, hopefully.
I still won't get it.
Well, hey,
yeah, so like
I'm still over here crying over Lilia's pop music card, so
suffer.
Still crying over the fact that I didn't get that.
I didn't bother falling for it.
Well,
so yeah, I typically have Mally on my home screen, but I like his PE uniform. I think that's the one he looks the best in. Other than that, like when they try to add a lot of details to the animated like figures, I just don't think they work. Yeah, I just like the things that greet you on your home screen. I just don't think they work. So that's my comment.
Those are that's what they're called.
I wasn't sure if Sprite was specific to the like classes and battles, like the chibi.
No, I think it's. In my head, I called like when they're in the story mode, those are their sprites, and then when they're in the battles in the Twistoons, those are just their chibis. That's what I call them. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a gamer other than this game, so.
Okay, so apparently the picture I'm looking at is just the original. I'm looking at the Groovy. The Groovy doesn't have his mask on, and it's like him, like, dance with me, and it's beautiful. Look at those earrings.
Oh.
Stunning.
Oh.
Feathers.
They're both so fucking pretty. Both
I will say
arts.
I like the original better, but, like, I also just noticed the little, like, spindle on the bottom of his, like, I don't know, what is that?
Oh my gosh, I did too.
Thing? I don't know.
I love the detail in all of these outfits.
Like roses along his. You got roses along his legs. I will comment that the inside of his cape. The inside of his cape just straight up looks like a couch.
It's quilted.
Exactly, it looks like a couch.
It's quilted.
He's got his little pirate hat.
I also want to comment on Sebek and Silver have matching. Completely matching outfits, and I think that's adorable. And like they're so cute.
I love it.
I think like the only difference is their capes.
Yeah, they're just like switched the capes. Another person whose outfit I love is Azul's because I am in my pirate phase right now. So yes,
that's fair. That is also a really pretty outfit.
He's got tentacle cape.
Which I'm sure he actually doesn't really like, but...
He's got seashells on his hat. Let's see, who do we have left to comment on? So we have Edea. I'm just going now in order of the third. I have mixed feelings about Edea. Like... Yeah. I don't know. Like, it looks good still, but it's like...
I wish they had left his hair down. I feel like if he had more hair over his shoulders, it would make it look a little bit better. But since they tied it back, like it really draws attention to the fact that his throat is really it draws attention to his collar, and I don't like that.
Oh my gosh, look at Edea's Groovy.
Hang on. What is Oh my gosh.
It is stunning. Go look at it. It is It's gonna inspire fanfics right there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the neck and all the like tight ruffles and stuff like that. But I actually like how his hair is in this. I think it looks very nice pulled back.
I don't know.
I just don't think it goes well with that collar.
Yeah. I feel like they should have one or the other. Have the collar and his hair down, or have his hair up and not the collar.
Agreed. Let's see. We got... Oh, I tried to click on Deuce, but it pulled up Ruggy. So let's talk about Ruggy.
Okay.
I like his... they have him as like a page.
Yeah, that's... I don't know. I don't have a lot of thoughts about most of the other characters.
Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent to his. He pulls off the hat. I like the pockets for his ears. I think that's cute.
Yeah. I feel like his gloves are too short, but I have that complaint about pretty much every design in this game that has gloves.
Well, no, because Deuce's goes up to like mid forearm. Deuce looks like a musketeer right there. Nice checkerboard
mask. Hang on, I can't
mask.
find a picture of it.
He's just a straight up musketeer right there. Mouseketeer, because it's Disney.
Musketeer.
Mouseketeer.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, and like him and Riddle also have very similar, just like their colors. The color is different, which I do
Riddle-
like that. I feel like they tried. Sorry.
No, I've lost the word. Because Riddle looks like a mix between like a musketeer and then what are they called? The like people that like the bulls in the red cave.
Oh God, no.
It's on the tip of my
Matador?
tongue.
Matador?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like
that could just be because of the red, though.
I
feel like that could just be because of the red.
the half cape. It is specifically the half cape.
Fair. I think I've seen musketeers wearing those too.
I mean, that's probably what they were going for, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. And I do like that they kind of tried to keep like specific themes to each dorm. I feel like because like Rook and Apple also have very similar designs.
See,
Silver
I
and
felt
Sebek
like
have completely
they
matching
didn't.
designs that complement Mally very well. Sorry?
I felt like I like how Rook's groovy is just a little fog around it. Suffer. I don't like Rook.
Yeah.
I personally don't think that Rook and Epples match in anything other than color palette. I feel like Rook matches better
they have, like,
with
some
Rook matches better with Riddle and Deuce.
Yeah. I didn't mean to say that they were like matching, but like they have
It might just be the pants that are throwing me off for Apple.
That's fair.
It's just the pants.
In game, I feel like they were probably made with like the same fabrics, and like beyond, other than the half cape, they have similar tops. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have the same top.
Side by side.
Just Rook has the skirt. Apple has the shorts. Other than that, they're pretty much the same.
Rook.
Other than the
they
skirt
have the
and the half
sleeves.
cape.
Now that I'm looking at them side by side, yeah. Apple has a feather, and it's hard to tell what the hat looks like from the angle.
Yeah. And also
yes,
the mask
they are more
is
similar
different.
than I look. And then, I think that's it for character designs. For the most part, we covered everything. They're all pretty.
I mean, we could talk about
Grim,
but I don't know. He just looks like a fancy Judge Frollo. Oh, we didn't mention that. This event, if you haven't played it yet, this event is based on Hunchback of Notre Dame. I have never seen the movie.
I saw it once.
I know basically what it's about. Yeah. So we're not really going to be commenting on it from that angle.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, Frollo lusts after Esmeralda and is salty about it, so he decides, let's try and kill her. That's vaguely what I remember. He also
that's
pretty
vaguely
much
what I know.
abuses Quasimodo because he was born ugly. That's pretty much it. So, like, I've seen so many memes where it's like just how Frollo was getting all salty about lusting Esmeralda and trying to curse her and all that. Rollo is lusting after Malice, which I didn't really see during playing through the game. But I saw so many memes about that.
Not that he was lusting after Mally, but that he was lusting after MC. Is what I've seen. So that's what I went into this event expecting. I expected to see that and then did not get that.
No, I was fully expecting
I was totally
him to
blindsided by what this event was about, honestly.
Same. The only thing I knew about this event was arson and he likes Malice. That was all I knew, and only one of those really turned out to be right.
Malice. I went in knowing arson,
like a hate ship.
and went in expecting that, it was gonna be a he's Frollo, we're Esmeralda type thing. So I was totally blindsided by what this event was about.
Yeah, kind of same. I just kind of thought it was the like, I like you, but I refuse to acknowledge that, so I hate you with a passion. But it wasn't. So where was I in our story mode?
They were just splitting off into teams. We spent 10 minutes talking about the signs.
Because I was trying to find the name of their teams, because so they had split up into groups, And essentially, they were called, like...
Oh, I got it. Group
okay.
A was Azul's group, Team Star was Edia's group, and Group 1 was Malice's group.
So it was beautiful. And when Rolo mentions it to Train, he's just like, interesting choice in names. And Train's just deadpan. Do you want the
exact line? Because I feel like the exact line is even funnier than that. The inconsistent nomenclature is most distressing. The inconsistent nomenclature is most distressing.
What's Train's response?
They spent a whole meeting arguing about which group should be considered most important, and none of them were willing to compromise.
Yep. He's deadpan, literally just like, I'm working with a bunch of children, and they couldn't decide who gets to be Group 1, so they're all Group 1.
Uh-huh.
Also, Edia just picking Star over, like, some other variation of 1. I view that as him trying to just be like, any other. Yeah, I don't know. Group I. Roman numerals.
Because there's a Group A. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's funny.
I get they're running out of options, but I find it funny that he went, we are Group Star.
No, not Group Star. Team Star.
Beautiful.
Team Star.
Team Star. Okay. Whose group is first? So the first group we get to see is Azul, Deuce, and Apple. And I find it so funny because, one, they're looking around and they're checking out like bakeries and stuff like that. It's every event they're going to talk about food. The main one here was bread and grapes.
And I cry. And cheese. And I also cry.
Essentially food Wonder can't eat.
I'm lactose intolerant. Not really, but also I just don't like cheese. And grapes are my favorite fruit. Cheese. So I used to be able... I used to, not just be able to, I used to eat them, like eat an entire bag of grapes in one sitting. And because I did that for 4 years, probably more than that, I developed an allergy to grapes this June.
And
haven't had any grapes since this June. It is November as we are recording this. I cry.
There. So yeah, I'm not going to try and remember all the foods they had. But, you know, they're like doing what I found so funny was because you have Azul who's like low-key salty to be with the freshmen and then realizing how easy it is to manipulate the freshmen. so like they have it where he's like kind of telling them, he's like, y'all are too trusting. You need to stop doing this. Like, what the heck? And then he gets them like pencils, like probably something that cost him like 25 cents, like cheap gifts. And he gives it to them. And they're just like, for free? You give us gift for free? You don't expect anything back? You are so generous. Free? Like I get it's Azul, but like they clarified that so much, and he's just like, why do you act surprised? Like, I noticed how well they write, and I thought I would get you one to help you, like, be motivated to study or something. And they're immediately just like, oh my gosh, thank you, Azul, you're the best, I trust you so much, like, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, oh my god, I could get anything from these two. He's like, all I had to do was get them a cheap gift, and they're like, dropped their guards completely around me. I really just love everyone's reaction to Azul being like, oh, I'll pick up some gifts for my dorm. And they're just like, you give something out for free? You do that? Do you know what a gift means? I love it so much. Also, the building blocks. They're like, oh, these little blocks with like a letter and then a word. You know, we use them to help kids like, you know, learn how to read and talk and stuff like that. And Azul makes some like offhanded comment that it would be a good gift for them. For Deuce and Apple.
I found it. It's So we have the choice, and it's either find anything interesting or find anything good to eat. And if we choose find anything interesting, Azul says, "Oh yes, we found the perfect study aids for Deuce and Ethel." And Deuce goes, "What, you're not talking about the building blocks, are you? Don't believe him, MC. That's just Azul's idea of a joke."
I love it. Yes, I will note it that when I played through the game, I played like through 2 books and then I switched to watching a playthrough online. And half of the videos, when they gave you option, they showed you what both options did. And then they just skipped that. And then they just went to, I am just doing this. So maybe I know what some of the responses are. Maybe I don't. I don't know how much it differed. Don't know how much it's important. But I played I saw the one with the blocks and I thought it was funny. So I loved that. Just Azul literally just being like, I could get literally anything out of these two. I had to buy them a pencil and they trust me with their life. Like, I love it. I'm trying to remember what happened with Edia, Rook, and Silver. I think that one was mainly grape juice. Oh, they had the little wooden puppets and Ruggies.
Was
just
that them?
like,
oh yeah, that was them. Oh,
yeah,
and they also had, because this comes up later, they also had like the little handkerchiefs that you could flap or something, and it would explode into fireworks. And it was magic. And it was very specific that it was a little tiny bit of magic.
They were blue handkerchiefs too.
Were they specifically blue?
Yeah, they were specifically blue.
Okay. Well, anyway.
So you'd wave them around and a little red spark would come out.
Yeah. Also, Silver gets one for Lilia, which I find so adorable.
Okay, I find it so funny, though, because just the amount of times that Silver had just, like, openly referred to Lilia as his dad during this episode, whether or not it was while Lilia was right next to him, or just kind of, like, happening to mention it in the same sentence. And then you have... I think it was like, I don't know who it was, Rook or Ruggy or something like that. One of them's just like, "Oh, you think your dad would like this?" Like, kind of, like, they're just like, "Who's your dad?" And I'm just like, how can you not know?
Okay, I will say, I'm now looking at a translation of I think I'm now looking at a translation of the Japanese version. Yeah, because the English wiki only had, like, up to the first third of book 2 translated, but so Silver basically tells them, you know, my dad's likes really childish stuff, like he likes flashy things, and then Rolla goes, "Well, here I know this is a thing. Would he enjoy this?" Talking about the handkerchiefs. "I know this is a thing. I know this, and I know about this thing. Would he enjoy this? Here's what I recommend." And yeah.
Yeah, I just find it so funny that they don't know that Lilia is Silver's dad, because it's not like he tries to hide it in the English version. Like, I know in the Japanese version he says something closer to, like, old man than father.
Yeah, the direct translation of what he refers to Lilia as in the Japanese version is old man, which is, like, I do get why then in the Japanese version people don't get that he's his dad, because several times several people make jokes about Lilia being an old man.
I don't get why they changed it in the English version, because I think it would be very funny to look at this 12-year-old boy and just be like, "Sup, old man."
I don't either. I think just to make it more clear what their relationship is before we get you know, the actual explanation in book 7, which is apparently coming this month, and I didn't know this until like 2 days ago, and I'm so excited.
Just picturing Silver just, like, yelling up at the ceiling, just being like, "Old man, get down, it's time for dinner." Okay, so do you want to explain what happened, or should I?
I turned off my microphone because I wanted to take a drink of water, and I wear a headset to record. My microphone is on, like, a gaming headset, basically. And I forgot to turn it back on for 15 minutes. So my audio is just silent for 15 minutes. Meanwhile, Talissa is still going. So
So
Yeah.
what's either going to happen is we will give a brief recap of what we talked about, very vague. And what will either happen is you are just going to miss those 15 minutes of recording completely, or you will just be getting my half of the conversation. Or maybe if Wonder feels like doing a lot of extra work, they'll just record over, insert themselves in the time.
Because I don't have time to edit this weekend.
I highly doubted that would be the choice you'd take. But, you know. So yeah, I mean, most of it was me kind of just explaining the rest of the story. We'll be picking up from where book 3 started.
We skipped over, I know we're skipping Malice's point section, but
yeah.
Basically, a goat follows them. It's really cute. So they theorize that the reason the goat's following them is because his horns are similar to Malice's, and it's really cute. And then Sebek accidentally drinks black coffee and cries.
Yeah. Essentially. So we had a whole 5-minute debate about how we thought Malice would be the one that drank sugary coffee and Sebek would drink it black.
But that's the whole point of that scene, kind of.
Yeah.
Really.
Other things we talked about
and then
is
we also started talking about how we think Lilia would take his coffee.
Yeah.
And we ended on, he doesn't drink coffee, he drinks energy drinks.
Yeah. Or he'd mix them, because he would. Another point we talked a lot about, if we're just doing the main details, was the handkerchiefs. Because one of the comments I had was, why does Rollo keep covering his mouth with a handkerchief? Because I wasn't sure if it was something like, oh, I don't like complimenting the mages or something like that, like evil magic, I'm going to cover my mouth when I say it. But no, I think I think they just wanted his character to be doing something. And we did find out that his handkerchief has the same pattern as Esmeralda's scarf. Neither of us have really seen the movie, so we just know it's probably creepy.
I did look it up. Apparently there are several times throughout the movie where Frollo will sniff her scarf.
Oh.
Smell her scarf, smell her scent off her scarf. And that is disgusting. And we are moving on now.
Okay. So yeah, and then another thing was just, how do they not realize that Lilia is Silver's father? How?
Yeah.
Old man.
I mean, that's kind of where I cut off.
Yeah.
So they did kind of get some of that, but it's so funny.
Technical difficulties. So yeah, either you heard my half of the conversation and just got a brief recap, or you're only getting this. Don't know what will happen. We shall see. But anyway, that's what happened. We apologize. Moving on.
I'm sorry. I'm a dumbass.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm the one who records stuff for fun, though. And I was the one who accidentally turned my microphone off. Although this is a regular occurrence. I do, not me turning my microphone off and forgetting to turn it back off again, but forgetting that my microphone is turned on when I go to start recording something. So I get all the way through a chapter of a podfic, and then I go to turn off my recording, and the entire 40-minute recording is silent.
Mood. Well, I guess now would be the time to confirm it is on.
Actually, let me do that. No, okay, we're good. We're good. We're recording.
We're good. Okay. So, book 3, you have it where up for the first 7 chapters is them kind of looking through the topsy-turvy event. So they have this whole situation about, they're going to set up these benches, and, Grimm says he wants to sit at Malice's table, something like that, and then Sebek throws a fit because that's the last seat. I want to sit by Malice, blah, 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 and Malice is just dude, just sit next to us. So they play rock, paper, scissors over who gets to sit there, and Grimm wins, and then they're just well, wait, where's you gonna sit? Because they need to sit together, obviously. And Azul's just he can just sit on their lap. And Sebek immediately is why didn't you make that suggestion when I wanted to sit there? Why didn't you just make him sit on someone else's lap? And Azul's pretty much just I don't care. So then Sebek's trying to get Azul to sit on his lap or let him sit on his lap. And it's entertaining. And then Malice is just dude, please just sit down. So yeah, they have the whole little not parade thing, But, puppet show about
Just
the
like a
kind of bell
festival,
ringer, all that, festivals. Again, I will apologize because I'm going to be very brief on this summary because I already gave my description for this. But so they have it where they have magical, things. So they have some like cymbals, some tambourines, the handkerchiefs that are imbued with tiny bits of magic so that everyone can partake in the magical festivities, because the point of Topsy-Turvy is like, doesn't matter if you're a politician, a king, a peasant, you're on the same page. Like, does not matter during Topsy-Turvy Fest. So they have these magical items so that everyone can participate in the magic, whether or not you are a mage or not. So, very nice. And they're like little fireworks, they're having a blast. And I think it was Malice at first that was like, oh, well, if they like this, they'll love my magic. And they're like, no, dude, don't. So he doesn't do it. But then I think Grimm does.
Yeah.
So essentially he lets off some fireworks. And everyone's just like, whoa, where did that come from? Like, blah, blah, blah. And it ends up that all the NRC boys are lighting off fireworks. Riddle's the only one that's like...
You mentioned Riddle, and it was... I think I checked like the transcript, and I do think it wasn't that he just didn't want to like get shown up by the freshmen or whatever. It was RSA started lighting off fireworks as well.
Oh, I forgot about RSAs.
Yeah.
Because it was
RSA's
essentially
there.
like...
Jenya's there.
Yeah. He's just like, train didn't want us to use magic, but like, it would be a disgrace to NRC if I didn't, as a house warden, show off my magical abilities. So like, they're all letting off fireworks and everyone's having a great time, but at the same time, like, that's not what this was for. You're defeating the point of Topsy-Turvy Fest. So I can understand why Rolo is upset during that scene, because like, that's not the point. But he essentially turns to you and he's just like, aren't mages horrible? Don't you think the world would be better without magic? Aren't you from a world without magic? You must hate all this. And the options are either like, I've gotten used to it, or no, I love it. And he's just like, you poor soul, you've gotten used to it. Like, oh my gosh. So dramatic about it. So like, I'm just reading through this event and I'm just like, if I were there, I'd be like slowly moving away from him. I'd just be like, okay, dude.
Yeah, and the Japanese version, because again, I'm looking at a translation of the Japanese version because the English wiki is rude. In the Japanese version, the options are, I think magic adds to the fun, and I've gotten used to all the fuss, really.
Yeah.
Wow, my podficker really came out there.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So that
which
was
I think is generally, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say, I think that is like how most people would feel at this point. Honestly, most people from our world going into this magical world would feel at this point, because this is, post book 6, so we've been here for like 6 months at least.
My gosh, we go through so much, such a short amount of time. But yeah. So that concludes like our little Topsy-Turvy Fest. We go back to the school because, like, time to get ready for bed, but there's like an announcement beforehand. So all of the Arcane Academy boys like gather in like the main hall or something. And, one of the random facts is, so this is where we realized we were cut off as I was explaining this. So one of the random facts is the Bell of Solace is their magical imbued item. So it is their equivalent to our dark mirror. It's their magical artifact, controls the school, blah, blah, blah. So it is imbued with magic, and they ring it 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night. And it just like sends a wave of magic over the land. So as we are gathered in the hall, the Bell of Solace rings, and everyone is like, I don't know if it's everyone, but at least the NRC boys, because they are aware of this fact. They're like, it has already rung for the night. Why is it ringing again? Because it's now ringing for a 4th time. And then someone's like, oh, look, there's a pretty flower over there. I want to touch it. Dude collapses. So everyone's like, what just happened? And then, whoosh, the entire place is filled with these red flowers that are glowing, and people are dropping like flies, and it's great. And who recognized it first? Because I don't think it was Malice. Because I knew Malice recognized them, but he didn't realize it right away. But someone realizes what the flowers are, and they are fire lotuses. And essentially what fire lotuses do is when a mage touches them, it takes all their magical energy and it drains it. And if it gets to the point where it drains their entire magic reserve, they are not getting their magic back. So, dangerous. So, they're trying to keep people away, they're fighting them off.
It's Train that recognizes them, which does make sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And essentially, the world was once covered in these flowers, but this was, one thing that all the mages were able to, group together because they realized how much of a threat this was. So this flower should be extinct. There's now a whole room of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, what is going on? We need to get away from these. Panic. If you put spells at them, it just absorbs and it makes them stronger. It makes them spread faster. Everyone is dropping except for us and the RSA boys because we're the only ones that matter.
Actually, no, the RSA boys are down by this point.
Well, no,
by the time that they realize what they are, the RSA boys are down.
I thought I thought Chenya and Nage were still standing for a bit.
Nope.
Because then
no. They are, but they both go down before Train tells us what they are.
Okay.
It's sequence of events in the chapter that they reveal what they are, which is book 3, chapter 8. We're all fighting. It's just kind of everyone's shouting. The Train goes, everyone put your magical pens away. Yep. Nage goes down. Chenya tries to protect Riddle. Chenya goes down. And then, and only then, Train is like, these are crimson lotus flowers. Or whatever. Which is what they're called in the Japanese version. I don't remember if it's the same in the English version.
They're fire lotuses.
Right, fire lotuses. Yep. So yeah.
Then they're like, we put our pens away, the flowers are kind of retreating a little, they're not paying too much attention to us, but they're still there. And then right away, Idia even points it out or something, in the most anticlimactic way ever, Rollo shows up and he's just like, oh, you boys are still standing. I guess you're tougher than I thought you were, but it's fine. You'll be dropped soon enough. Blah, blah, blah. And it just straight up admits that I put the flowers here. I'm gonna sap all of you of your magic, and then they will spread to all of Twisted Wonderland, and then the world will be free of magic, and it will be a better place, blah, 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 blah. And Edie is just like, wow, dude, really played the, villain monologue card right away. Didn't even make us, wait. Wow. My throat is getting so sore at this point, but it's fine. So,
that's basically what he says.
And then, pull the lever, Kronk, we fall through the floor. And I think people, use magic so they don't die on impact. And then, wouldn't you know it, we're surrounded by more flowers.
Woo.
Woo. So it's just trying to escape the flowers. And then we realize we're in the, not underwater, the, water canal things, and we're free. And we just start picking the flowers and unrooting them because, what else are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
And Train hurts his back because he's an old man, but same dude. I so would. Yeah. I hurt my back shelving. I could not.
I hurt my back sitting at a desk.
Mood. Me just trying to get nano done. So yeah. So, they probably spent 3 chapters just trying to pick these flowers, and everyone's dying, and Apple's just like, I did this for a living, but still dying. But he's just like, y'all got terrible form. How dare you? This is how you do it. But they're all dying, and it took them forever and so much energy to just clear a small patch. So
and then eventually Malice just got pissed and bombed the whole area, and they were like, no more flowers.
No more flowers. Yeah, that's what
basically.
So, because they learned that the only reason Malice was invited because he is a powerful mage and Rollo wanted to sap his magic. So he is pissed. Rightfully so. But they have it where they're just at first they're like, is he upset? Is he gonna cry? And then they're like, no. He's mad. He is mad. So he's, sworn revenge on Rolo because this boy's just so... It's not even the fact that, like, Rolo tried to take his magic away. It's the fact that this was a false invitation.
Yeah.
I'm like, this poor boy. I want to give him a hug.
Poor boy.
Poor boy.
Sweetheart.
I know. But, so essentially, throughout this, because, Malice gets angry and just, like, zaps all the flowers gone. So they realized, while the flowers sap magic, if you overload them, they die. Mm-hmm. So they go, well, if ringing the Bell of Solace once was enough to cause all of these to sprout, then if we ring it again, that should make all of them die.
Yeah.
And I will point out now that one of the things I'm confused about was because they said, if it saps all of your magic, that is it. You will not be a mage anymore. But then when they're talking and they're saying if we can get to the Bell of Solace and kill all these flowers, then everyone will be fine. And I don't understand the logic of that, because is it just, if they get overloaded, they just release the magic they took back to wherever it was from? Because I'm still thinking that if someone got their magic completely sapped from a fire lotus, whether or not they get all of them gone, they should still be without magic. But that's not the case.
I mean, I don't know. The way I kind of reasoned it was like, it's kind of like, I don't want to make this reference for the Spotify and YouTube audiences, but I'm gonna have to. It's kind of like when you're bleeding out. Like, if you lose enough blood, you drop no matter what. But then you do still have some more blood left in you to go before you fully die from bleeding out. So I kind of reasoned it like that. Like, if they lost enough magic that, like, they're wizards, they're made of magic, they lost enough magic, which is basically their life force, they're gonna drop, but then they do still have some left to bleed out before they die, basically.
Fair enough.
All their magic is sapped.
I think they were just using it as an excuse because they were also talking about, like, how the Bell of Solace just imbues people with magic when it's rung. So I think they were just kind of like, ringing the bell, that magic will replace the stuff that they lost enough that they can regenerate it themselves or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Because I'm not going to say why I'm using that, but for reasoning later in the book about other characters. I'll point it out when we get to it. So, it is now at the point where, well, we need to go ring the Bell of Solace. So who's going to go through all the fire lotuses to go do it? And it's so funny because they're like, Train, you can't stand. You're not going. Because he volunteers himself first. He's like, I am an old man. I'm not much of a sacrifice. It won't be a big deal if I lose my magic or something. And they're just like, dude, you can't stand. How are you going to make it up all those steps? Let the young people do it.
Uh-huh.
So essentially...
Young Mally.
Child. So essentially, everyone but Train, you, and Grim are going to go ring the Bell of Solace. I guess we're just trying to pick flowers until they succeed.
Yeah, basically.
Because Train's
we're
just like, I
in
ain't
town
giving
or
up.
something.
Yeah, we make it to the town for some reason. I find it so funny because Edie the entire time was just like, I'll stay here. I can stay with Train. I don't want to do this. He's just trying to get out of climbing the bell tower as much as possible. And again, same, dude. I would not want to go up all those steps.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of them are making their way back to ring the bell tower again. And I think that's where book 4 starts.
Book 4 starts with them being dropped.
Oh.
And with us being dropped into the waterways. That's fine. So this is where book 5 starts.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
No. I'm like, because of
book 4 starts with the planning,
8.
so...
I'm like, book 4, isn't that where Rook stays behind? Because essentially,
Yes.
as you keep going,
Yep.
people are dropping, obviously. So the first the first people to get lost are, not lost, but, like, separated from the group, are Riddle and Epple, because the square they need to get through to get to the college is overrun by the flowers. And it's where they have the statue of the rightful judge, whatever he's called, Frollo.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need people to distract the flowers so we can get away and sneak off those powers. They've got some cleaning brooms over there. They won't be the same as our flying ones, but we can try and distract them. Riddle is a great flyer, so he volunteers. I think Azula might have tried to volunteer or something, and Jamil's just like, you can't get off the ground. Like, we were just talking about that. Deuce volunteers, and Riddle's like, you don't think I know how you did on your last flight test? No. So essentially he's just like, I am House Warden, I shall do this myself. And Apple's, nah, I'm gonna do this with you. And he's just
sorry. You were right about where book 4 starts. I had things confused. Sorry. Anyway, continue.
Okay. So, you know, Apple's just like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stay behind with you. I'm gonna help distract them. And Riddle's just like, absolutely not. You are a freshman. You are not even from my dorm. No. And Brooke's just like, no, I think he could do it. I think he'd be powerful. And Ruggy's just like, yeah, and he's on the spell drive team. He can, like, Leona would vouch for his flying. So they do that. And so they're flying, they're distracting people. Riddle is just like getting rid of all the flowers in, like, precise bursts of magic. But he's getting weak. He's slowing down. He's lowering, like, all this. And Apple's like, I got this. I can do this. And Riddle's like, no, like, get away. Let me handle them. I shall sacrifice myself. Like, blah, blah, blah. And Apple just goes, nah, signature spell. Which, okay, I don't know what it's called.
This if we ever do, like, sorry.
Okay, what is the signature spell called? Because I watched a recording for this, and for everything else, they kept the signature spells the same, except for Apple's, which they wrote over and put Sleep's Kiss. So what is his signature spell called? Because that just confused me so much that they were editing over the spell name.
What
and they made it
were
Sleep
you
Kiss.
watching? Were you watching the one I sent you, Otome Ayui?
Yeah.
Because she's okay.
I watched the one you sent.
Okay. I think the one I sent was Otome Ayui, who is the translator that I follow, which, like, shout out to her. I love her videos.
But yeah, they kept all the signature spells the same except for Apple's, so that just really confused me. But whatever it's called, essentially what it does is it puts the person they cast it on in a coma, sleep, and puts a barrier shield around them that nothing can get through as long as Apple is standing. So as long as Apple can still cast magic, Riddle is going to be safe.
Yeah.
And I guess Apple succeeds. They don't really make that clear, but because you would assume that Apple just falls a bit later because they're just getting swarmed and they're, like, crawling up to get their legs and stuff. Like, it's not like, oh, just stay off the ground. They're actively going after them. But I don't think they ever mentioned that his spell broke.
Yeah.
So, good for Apple. Dude is strong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink water while you look for the spell name. My throat's gonna be dead for tomorrow.
Sorry, was Sleep Kiss the English or the Japanese?
I don't know. I'm wondering if it's like Sleep Kiss was the Japanese English translation, but then they changed it in English. And they just preferred that one or something.
Okay. So I could be misunderstanding things, but from what I know about the signature spells, the way that they're formatted in Japanese is there's the kanji, which means one thing, but then it is pronounced a different way. So the katakana and the hiragana or whatever is different. It's kind of like I keep referencing anime, and I know you haven't seen anything, but like in Death Note, The main character's name is Light. The kanji for his name is Moon. But his name is Light. So the kanji for Epel's signature spell is Crimson Fruit, but it is pronounced Sleep Kiss.
Weird. Okay.
It's weird. Wait until we get to Mally's. That was weird.
I like how, as I was saying this, I was like, I could just pull up that episode on my phone and see what they had it as.
Yeah.
Because if it was edited over. But that would take time. So, no.
Do you
Sorry,
want?
people,
I can
look
just
it up yourself. I mean,
what? Mally's spell? I can just text it to you.
I mean Epel's. Like I was saying, I could just open the
Yeah, it's not on his wiki for some reason. It's not on his English wiki for some reason. So, oh no.
Weird. Whatever. We'll just move on. It's not too important.
Mm-hmm. I love Epel's signature spell though, but we can talk more about that if we do. We should do an episode on going through all the signature spells. I feel like that would be a good episode.
We can do that. I was also playing this and I was like, is this how they revealed his signature spell? Because I didn't know. Like I knew
No,
it
it's
was,
in
but
book
I
6.
didn't. It is okay. So yeah, so that happens. And then so the next thing is they're going through what are they called? It's not a corridor. The like outside, and then there's the open hallways.
Like a courtyard, basically.
Yeah, courtyard. They're going through the courtyard, and wouldn't you know it, there's a bunch of flowers. So I think Ruggy's just sick of running or something, so he's like, I'll sacrifice myself. I'm done. Good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And Edia tries to stay behind. Edia's trying to stay behind every time.
Yep.
And Jamil's just like, nah, I got this, dude. You go ahead. I got this. I'll sacrifice myself. I'll stay behind. You go. Jamila's just like, go. And then Ruggy's just like, I didn't think you'd be the kind to just like willingly sacrifice myself. And Jamil's just like, I got a plan that you're the only one that would be chill with it. Let's go sacrifice some Noble Bell students. Is essentially what happens.
It's so funny. I am fairly neutral on both of these characters, but I loved the chapters of them together.
So one of the things I was kind of wondering was because, they're talking about it, and then 2 Noble Bell students come racing forward, and they're like, oh my gosh, people, this happened, we don't know what's going on, panic, all this, and then flowers come after them. And they're just like, oh no, there's more. And they're just like, these people, they brought more flowers. But, we have a common enemy. Let's work together,
Mm-hmm.
You go fight them off. You go fight off the flowers. And they both cast their signature spells on the people. So, Ruggy's doing laugh with me to make the person, they're like, I can't control my body. What is happening? And they're trying to talk to this other dude that's just blank stare. They're like, I will do as you say, master. I will fight the flowers. And then they go fight the flowers. And one of the things I'm wondering, I'm like, this is a great plan. I love it. They're using the distraction. But since they cast their signature spell, wouldn't they still be the main target? Because high magic.
I guess since they only did it once, and like the Noble Bell College students, it was kind of implied that they were casting magic at the flowers multiple times.
True, and they also said that the robes that the students were wearing were imbued with magic, like their ceremonial robes. So that could be part of it. Because they were saying, they're like, some of them are taking on humanoid forms, and they're like, no, that's just the flowers getting into their clothes. Which also implies that there are some Noble Bell students without any clothes on because the flowers stole them.
I didn't even think about that. Robes. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Poor people. Imagine having this traumatizing experience and you wake up without your clothes. So many questions. But yeah, so essentially they're running through the building and just sacrificing as many Noble Bell students as they can until they're safe.
Which I love.
And I love it.
It's so funny.
It's beautiful. I loved it so much.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what they're doing. So at this point, we still have Silver, Sebek, Azul, Edea, and Malice. And then, so they're in the bell tower now. They're at their staircase.
Rook and Deuce are the next to go down.
Oh, right. I was about to skip them. So, my bad. I don't like Rook. I just blocked him from my memory. No, so they get into the college back where they started. And then there's still a bunch of flowers. Rolo's gone.
Yep. Deuce,
and then,
trips or something and twists his ankle.
So Chandelier drops.
Oh, yeah.
And
that.
Edea is standing right underneath it. And Deuce tackles him. And he says the chandelier, brushed his nose. And then they're just like, oh my gosh, Deuce saved him, blah, 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 great. And then Deuce is just there I twisted my ankle. They're like, are you kidding me? He's like, it's my fault. I didn't fall with the proper form. And Edie is just like, do you know how insanely guilty you just made me feel? You got injured saving me. You should have just let it drop on me because then I wouldn't have to deal with this. Mood. So then Deuce is just like, I should stay behind because I'm not going to have you guys drag me up the stairs. I'm not going to be dead weight. It's fine. Go on without me. And then... So, once again, because for some reason they got to do all the sacrifices in twos. They just wanted to get rid of the characters. I kind of get it, though. You don't want to leave them alone. But, still. So Edea's like, I'll stay behind. I'll do it. And they're like, after he just hurt himself trying to get you out. No, you're going up the stairs. Stop trying to get out of it. So Rook stays behind.
Also, at this point...
So, everyone's hiking...
At this point, there is a random out of nowhere scene at NRC with Ace and Jack talking about how jealous they are that all the rest of the freshman gang went on this trip.
That was so funny. I wanted to go back and record the transaction because Ace is just like, oh, they must be having the time of their lives or something. And then it just cuts to Deuce just being like, die, flowers!
It just cuts to Deuce.
I could be completely wrong, but I know it cut to... I knew it cut to screaming. That's all I know. So I think that might actually be a bit later on when they have a flashback to Deuce and Rook as they're either way, they stay behind. And they blasting magic, and it's just not working. It's not working. When they're planning, so this bothered me a little bit because when they're planning, they have three clicks that Azul and Deuce are talking, but they didn't have any dialogue with it. And I'm just here thinking, because I was dumb and didn't realize that there would still be a chat bubble, that I was just dumb and just being like, ugh, the person just didn't add what they said. It was my immediate thought as I'm trying to speed through this.
What?
I don't know how. I was tired. That was my immediate thought. But yeah, they have that. They stay behind. But, they're... Rook and Deuce are fighting, trying to get the flowers out to go away. They're running out of magic, and Rook's just like, it's time to give up. I accept my fate. Blah, blah, blah. And Deuce just goes, no, and, drops to the ground and starts yanking the weeds out as much as possible. And Rook's just like, what just happened?
And then goes along with it.
And then goes along with it and has this whole monologue about how I was ready to accept my fate, but you are fighting till the very end. Good sir, everyone shall know about your courage and bravery and all of this and blah, 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 blah. Can you tell I don't like Rook?
We don't like Rook.
No one likes Rook. No one should like Rook.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happened. So now they're going up the staircase. And wouldn't you know it, more flowers.
And Silver and Sebek drop.
Silver and Sebek stay behind. And I actually loved this scene because so now you have Silver and Sebek fighting off flowers. Which one, I found it a little weird that they both stayed behind because I really thought one of them would have been insistent on staying with Malice since they're both his guards. I get it. They're like, we shall sacrifice ourselves so you can go on and fix this. But at the same time,
I do get why though, it had to be the three house wardens, other than just, they're the SSRs. Obviously, it has to be Malice for story reasons, it has to be Edea for backstory reasons, and it has to be Azul
why they
for...
didn't.
Yeah.
I was just wondering why they didn't drop them separately. Like, for me, it doesn't make sense for them both to be like, we shall fight down. Like,
Silver...
I don't know. Makes sense.
I don't know. Silver is willing to... So I think it's just... Silver is just willing to sacrifice himself for Malleus. And Sebek is also willing to sacrifice himself for Malleus. But he also has that sense of... oh my god. Competition with Silver. Silver does not return. But Sebek feels very competitive with Silver. So he's like, well, if you're gonna stop, I have to help and do whatever you're doing because I have to do it better than you. Basically, is how I kind of interpreted it.
Yeah. But so essentially, they have it where they're doing that. And they have this scene where it's like the two of them, they're kind of talking about, like, you have Sebek kind of teasing, like, oh, I'm surprised you haven't, like, fallen asleep yet, or, like, or maybe they ask if they're fighting in their sleep because they're being, like, slow or something. I don't know. Like, they're just going back and forth bickering, and it's so... I love it. And then they're just, like, Sebek's just like, let's make this a competition about who can pull out more flowers or something like that. And then it's just full-on bantering about, oh, I'd win this competition, like, blah. And I don't know whether or not this scene... I love this scene. You can tell by how well I summarized it. But I don't know whether or not this scene makes me see them more as siblings or boyfriends.
I ship it so. Which you will hear about next week. But,
yeah. But yeah, so, like, I don't know. I just have a weird dislike for Sebek because...
I mean, me too.
I don't like that he screams everything, so when I don't like a character, I just don't ship them in things. But I do low-key ship them. I do accept that as a canon ship. But I also see them as brothers. It's weird. The Insomnia fam just be like...
They're also Fae, and they're not actually brothers.
I know it's not biological at all, but, like, you know. Okay, so they sacrifice themselves, and then they have a really cute scene where they get up the stairs, they block off they barricade the corridor with boxes so the flowers can't come up, and then they realize, where did the rest of the stairs go? There's no more stairs to get up to the top. Dang it. What are we going to do now? We just barricaded that. We have nowhere else to go up. And then they notice something. They're like, isn't that gargoyle the one from the roof?
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about that.
And Malice is happy because they're like, oh, there's a gargoyle here. And then you find out gargoyle can talk. And, what's the, like, Malice EXE has stopped working?
Basically.
Is
as soon as the gargoyle starts words. As soon as the gargoyle starts talking, oh my god,
I know,
Malice
right?
just shuts off.
And it's so Azul's just being like, is he, like, what is happening? Is he mad or something? And Edie is just like, he's having a full-on fanboy moment, but, like, it's possible he's mad. Like, some people, if they perceive something as canon, like, so much, they refuse to deny it as anything else. So Azul's just kind of like, he's gonna throw a hissy fit because the gargoyle can talk and he didn't think they could talk. Like, what the heck? And he's just having, like, full-on fanboy moment inside, and the gargoyle's just kind of like, hello? Anyone there? And Malice is just like, oh, I'm so sorry, let me introduce myself, like, blah, 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 such a pleasure to meet you. And they're just bonding, and it's so cute. And they, like, have a handshake, and they're talking, and it's so adorable.
We love it.
But then they have, and he's just like, oh yeah, I'll show you the secret entrance on how to get, like, upstairs. And I felt kind of bad because the gargoyle was saying how Rolo was such a nice kid, and he's like, yeah, he's, like, really dedicated to, like, climbing up the tower every morning and polishing the bell and, like, doing all this, such a good kid or something. And they're just kind of like, heh. Oh, also another random comment. When they're climbing the tower, they find Rolo's fireplace that he likes to stand in front of and laugh creepily. And apparently there is a stone that comes out and there's a diary in there. And
I was going to say we forgot about
the diary.
But yeah.
House wardens read the diary. We don't get any information besides that it's there. So, yeah.
So, we do get information later, but not right away.
Right after he shows them where the passageway is, the barricade breaks and all the Fire Lotuses come upstairs, and they are going straight for the gargoyle. And the reason the gargoyles here at Noble Bell College can talk is because they are on the roof with the Bell of Solace, and every time the Bell of Solace rang, it imbues their magic into it, so they became alive. That is the reasoning for it. So the Fire Lotuses are just going to it. So poor Malice has to watch this thing pretty much just be going like, I don't want to be turned back to stone. I don't want to be turned to stone. I don't want to be a plain gargoyle. Because we've already learned that's what happened to the rest of the gargoyles. But he made it off of the roof. So Malice just watches him be turned into a normal gargoyle.
Basically die.
And
they treat it like a death scene, basically.
Honestly, though, and they're just like, dude, we have to keep going. Like, is he going to be okay? Like, what? But, he is now even more determined to destroy Rollo because you are the gargoyle. How dare you? So they go up the stairs. More Fire Lotuses. They have it where Azul is like taking them out patch by patch very specifically. Like, but it's like slowing him down. And Edie is getting slowed because there's so many stairs, he's walking slowly. And they're kind of yelling at him they're like, Edie, you need to move. Otherwise they're going to get caught up. So then they're like, fine, new plan. Edie, you're going in the back. You can fight off the Flower Lotuses. And what Edie does is he pulls something out of his pocket and he chucks it. And there's like a huge explosion and all of the Fire Lotuses, I think they swarm to it and then die. And they're like, what the heck was that? And Edie is like, oh, it's one of the handkerchiefs. They're children's toys. And Malice is like, that is a child's toy. I don't know if it's Malice or Azul's. They're like, that is a children's toy? That was like explosives. And he's like, no. I just, hacked the code and made it, 100 times more powerful. Because I was bored.
We love it. We love Edie.
It's beautiful. So he's just chucking handkerchiefs. So he's not actually casting any magic during this either. He's just throwing the handkerchiefs he edited. It's beautiful. So then they get to the roof.
And this is where book 5 starts.
This is where book 5 starts. Okay. So now they get to the roof, where Rollo is, I don't know, probably just standing with his hands behind his back waiting, because what else would you expect from him?
He's a cartoon villain. What else would he do?
Yeah. And he refers to everyone as villains. Like, he greets us, and he's just like, I should have expected you villains to make it up here. Like, I should have expected you villains, He just keeps calling us villains, and they're just like, dude, stop it. So they're trying to attack, and they've, all the Fire Lotuses are there now, and they're swarming all of us. He seems fine, and they're doing this, so they fight because why not? And turns out he is a super powerful mage, and he is somehow. And they're like, we knew we were tired from the stairs and all the magic and stuff, but we expected this to still be an easy fight, but he's taken us down. And one of the things I'm so concerned, because I was honestly kind of waiting for this to be something oh, he doesn't really have magic, but he's just so dedicated with the history and the learning and the process of everything that he's the president and running everything, but he doesn't have magic because none of the Fire Lotuses are affecting him. And he has such a strong hate for it that I was really expecting it to be something like that. But no, he's a powerful mage.
Yep.
So
he just has, the exact same backstory as Edie.
Yeah, pretty much. Copy paste.
Yeah, which I definitely think they did it better with Edie. I don't.
It's you can copy my project, just make sure the teacher doesn't notice.
Yeah. So basically, Rollo's backstory is his brother was also a super powerful mage, and he started showing signs of magic even before Rollo did. So when he was very, very young. And then he overloaded himself one day, and maybe might have accidentally unalived himself. I hate that I have to say that, but this is going on YouTube, so...
That's a good thing you said it, because I would not have said it. I would have just been he died.
Yeah. Yeah, he basically... fuck, I'm just gonna say... He basically accidentally killed himself. And so now Rollo resents all mages. Whereas...
Which, like... I can kind of get, because if they left it at just that, then it's just like, dude, you're just being salty. Especially because then he hated when he got powers. But then he later specifies that, like, it's not even that the magic killed his brother. It's that there were other mages around them that didn't do anything.
Which I'm wondering, is his brother accidentally killed himself? Did he just overload himself with magic, or did he overblot?
They specifically said he didn't overblot.
Okay. I don't remember that, so okay.
At least,
never mind then.
Because Edea said he didn't. They said he was a powerful mage that, because it was something where, like, he was 8, so I think the child was 8, so he hadn't been enrolled in school and gotten, like, a magic pen and anything yet. But he was, practicing strong magic, but he had said he hadn't formed any blot, but he overloaded himself.
Okay. So never mind then. I didn't.
And I mean, that could be something they just, like, didn't know. Like, it could have been, and that's just what he's interpreting from the diary, but I mean, he is our blot expert, so...
Yeah.
He didn't overblot. But yeah, so that's Rolo's reasoning for hating everything. So he's like, I shall cleanse the city of all of this. And again, I'm really just wondering why the Fire Lotuses didn't take him out first, because he's been with them the entire time. But okay, whatever. So
favoritism. I don't know.
They essentially get him to start monologuing, kind of. And so Azul just comes up and blasts him with all this magic that they're like, he's down. And you find out what happened is during those scenes that I thought my stupid self just thought they didn't put the words up for these scenes. It was like 3 pages. Deuce was signing a contract and giving Azul his signature spell, because his signature spell takes all the magic that was thrown at him and fires it back in one shot. And they knew that Azul would be able to figure out the timing of when to use it better than Deuce would.
Mm-hmm.
And Deuce also couldn't move. He twisted his ankle. So, they signed the contract so that Azul can have a signature spell so he can take out Rolo.
Mm-hmm.
I think Deuce's deal was just like, sure, just punch him in the face for me. Like,
yeah, it was just like, you can use it, just make it cool. That was the deal.
Which I don't think he does. I don't think Azul punches him in the face. I think he just fires the magic back. So shame on you.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't punch him. It was just, you can use my spell. Just when you do, make sure it looks cool. Basically.
Oh no, he specifically says to punch Rolo at some point.
Does he?
I think when they're leaving the first time.
I don't know.
He says to punch him in the face.
I think he might have said that, but I'm pretty sure the deal was just use it, but make it cool.
Fair. So yeah, that happens, and they're like, oh, what a great plan, like, blah, blah, blah. Kind of like, I'm surprised Deuce trusted you enough to do that, but like, yay. Dude stands up again. He won't die. They're like, how is he still standing? And Rolo's just like, y'all, you villains have left me with no choice. I shall defeat you, I shall burn you, and sets himself on fire, because apparently that's his signature spell.
Yep.
Hellfire.
Basically.
So
it was, let me check the actual...
He's essentially...
The actual wiki.
What's the Greek mythology version of that? A fury? I don't know.
What?
That doesn't sound right. Furies are bird people. Don't listen to me.
No. The actual wiki says
fire.
Rolo's signature spell is called Dark Fire, where he's engulfed in flames and able to use fire magic. And for some reason they have this detail. In this state, he maintains a prideful smile on his face. My roommate just got back. Anyway.
Hello, roommates. We're still recording. Guess they can't call it Hellfire. Yeah. Hellfire! Hellfire! My voice is like cracking at this point. I apologize for everyone that has to listen to my voice sounding like this for like 2 hours. Suffer.
Anyway, we're almost done. Anyway, somehow Malice beats him.
They eventually... Yeah, because of course. And they essentially... So they ring the Bell of Solace. Magic is restored. The fire lotuses die. And he's just like, fine, do whatever you want with me, I guess. Like, whatever punishment you villains see fit, blah, blah, blah. like, whatever. So they tie him up. They bring him down what I assume is like 2 staircases. They find the gargoyle, who's now back alive. Which again, as previous comment going back to this, the way they described it, the gargoyle should be dead. It should take a lot more rings to get that gargoyle back, because they said the reason they are sentient is because they've been there for years with the Bell of Solace. If they sapped all the magic out of that gargoyle, 1 ring is not going to bring it back unless the Fire Lotus's magic is going exactly where they took it from.
I guess that's
So
fair. It could be.
I
don't know.
like, I knew they were going to bring the gargoyle back, but I'm like, this should still be an inanimate gargoyle, but okay. And they're like, oh, I'm so glad you did it. You brought us back. Everyone else is fine. I'm glad Rollo's okay, because I guess they didn't tell the gargoyle that Rollo was the one that caused this. And Rollo just straight up, who's been climbing the bell tower every day and like polishing the bell, just goes like, they can talk. Dude. Rude.
Yeah.
And they're just like, Rollo, if you're ever going through anything, we're always there for you. You can talk to us. And he's just like, I'm not going to talk to a rock. And everyone's just kind of waiting for Malice's reaction, like, oh no. What are they going to do?
Oh.
So yes, they have that. And then, so, they get back to everyone, pick them up where they left off. Everyone's fine. And then they essentially decide that the punishment that they're going to give Rollo for trying to take the magic from all of Twisted Wonderland is tell people how he joined the NRC boys in defeating the Fire Lotuses and fought against them and all this, because either you can tell everyone yourselves or live with the guilt. And I'm going, that's great. You still should have decked him. But okay.
Honestly. I mean,
they
did thoroughly beat him in a magic fight.
Oh yeah, they also untied him after after they meet the gargoyle, they untie him and they're like, what are you doing? And they're like, we are not carrying you down the steps. So I guess they tied his legs and his arms, because I was just picturing them tying up his arms and then they're like, we're not carrying you. And I was like, oh, you fully tied him up. Okay.
Like they hog-tied him.
Yeah.
Just hilarious.
Also, okay, really though, just like grab his legs and drag him down the stairs.
Honestly.
It's fine.
Honestly, Maui could probably just levitate him down the stairs if he wanted.
Yeah,
that's probably a thing he could do.
It's probably. He also could just teleport them back.
He could.
The amount of times that they had to tell Malice not to get rid of the flowers because he would just take out the entire tower. So yeah. So they get back, telling everyone Rollo helped save them. And I guess everyone was just oblivious to this, because then the vice president and the aide come back and they're like, Rollo, you're safe. We didn't know where you were. We were so nervous. Like, we're so glad you're okay. And that's when they start telling the lies about how he, fought against us, fought with us to help destroy the flowers, blah, blah, blah. Such a good teammate. Such friendships that have been built. So then they're talking and they're like, well, the ball is tonight. You're still gonna hold the ball. That's part of this. Go run the ball. You have to do this. Otherwise, it would be so suspicious if you didn't. And Edie is just like, no. This is a good excuse. We just went through a lot of trauma. A lot just happened. Don't host the ball. Please don't do this. Please don't.
Yeah.
Edie is just trying to get out of it. And he's just like, fine, I'll host your stupid ball. He's like, really? You still care about that? And Malice is just like, of course, because if you hold the ball, then it's not a false invitation. And I'm just like, dude, still going at it, yeah. He just wants to be invited to stuff, people. Invite Malice. Petition. So yeah. So everyone sleeps because they need to. I find it funny they make some comment because so Ethel gets back because they're all meeting at the fountain before the ball, and Ethel gets back and he's like, even though I slept all day, I still feel exhausted. And Riddle's just like, I feel fine, but that might be because someone made sure I got plenty of sleep.
I want more of Riddle and Ethel hanging out. I feel like they would be friends.
They would, though. And Ethel's just like, are you mad at me about that? And he's like, yes, but you made the right choice, so I can't be too mad about it. And I just love that interaction.
It's so funny.
Salty riddle. So yeah, then they have it where, you know, everyone's reconvening, they talk about it, and they just, like, it's so funny because then you have, like, Ruggie and Jamil, they're like, oh, you managed to, like, fight all the fire lotuses, and they're like, yep, we totally did that.
That's definitely what happened.
We shall never they're like, everyone's too happy, there's no way we can tell them how we actually survived.
Uh-huh.
So secret between them, and they're just going back and forth, like, they compliment each other, but they're both like, I'm gonna believe anything that comes out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. Love
That's
that
another
friendship.
dynamic I want
needed
more
it.
of, honestly. Their dynamic was
And
really
then,
funny.
I don't know if these are in order. So they have Sebek and Silver, and Sebek's just like, oh, you'll have to report to Lilia how I beat you in the competition and pulled the most, unweeded the most fire flowers. And then Silver's just like, I could, but I don't like giving Father false information.
Oh, that was awesome.
And they're just bickering about who had the bigger piles of flowers. And Silver's just like, my pile was bigger. And Sebek's just like, yeah, because you had all the petals. I had the most roots. So, like, that means I pulled the most flowers. And Silver's just like, don't make me lie to Father. Okay, just drop it. And it's just, it's great.
So funny.
Just such sibling bickering right there. I love it. I love these two in this. And then they had Azul and Deuce talking because he's just like, oh, thank you for letting me use your signature spell. It really helped. But at the same time, you are an idiot. How did you know I was going to give it back to you? And he kind of jokes that he's not going to, but then he's like, whenever your contract's filled, like, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, but remember this. Don't just sign any contract. Blah, blah, blah. You gotta read it, make sure you're not getting a good deal. And then he adds some joke comment. He's like, except for my contracts, of course.
Yes.
You can accept mine.
Of
You can just sit. And Deuce is just like, yeah, sure. And he's like, no! You just completely. And it's so funny. Because he's just like, I could get literally anything out of this boy, but at the same time, please. Stop trusting everyone. And it's just so funny.
This whole event is just so funny. I love I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but I know I've told you and Caden before that my favorite event is Phantom Bride. This overtakes it.
Mm-hmm.
I love this event so much.
There's a lot more content. But, like, I just loved all the dynamics. So then, yeah, ending the book off, they have their ball. Everyone's there. Everyone completely unaware, besides the NRC crew, that Rolo is the one that caused this. And they're also saying, they also made some comment there, like, if you are going to turn yourself in, you are doing it after the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Those are our only terms. And kind of like that. And then so they're, like, making announcements. He's doing that, and they're just like, wow, this dude can really just, like, lie with such a straight face. Completely fine, as if he didn't just try to, like, torture all of these people.
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's kind of concerning, but okay.
Yeah. Huh.
And then they, like, shine a spotlight at all the NRC boys, because they're like, these are the people who, like, made it to the Bell of Solace, and, like, did all this, such success. And then they're just like, oh, well, thank you. Can we make a speech of our own? No. Come on, Rolo, let them have a speech. So they let the boys have a speech, and they're just like, now let's go up to where Rolo's standing. It's fine. Go take his place. Azul's telling them that. They're like, go on stage. And he's like, I have a gift for all of you. And they're like, and again, they're like, a gift? Like, for free? We can have this? These people really don't know what gift means.
Yeah.
These poor boys. If they don't know, if they're second guessing every gift, I feel bad for them. But they also go to a school of villains, so I guess it makes sense.
Fair.
And in response, Riddle, no, that's wrong already. Malice, Sebek, and Edia are the lead singers in singing a song.
Malice, Azul, and Edia. It's the three main
What did
of
I
this
say?
event. You said Sebek.
What did I say?
You said Sebek.
in my head, I said Azul.
No, it's not Sebek. It is the
house-
main three of this event. It's Malice, Azul, and
The
Evia.
House Wardens minus Riddle
The House Wardens who are present, minus Riddle.
are the lead singers in singing a song that is part of... What is this town's name?
Oh, fuck.
This town's culture.
Wow,
Wow,
Fleur
we really
City,
get into this
which
point
is
without-
very obviously
Fleur
just
City.
Paris.
Yeah. I read that in my mind, just immediately went, oh, Fleur de la Cour? Okay. Harry Potter.
Plus, they even
Pro
have like a
Wizard
river
Champion.
which is called La Soleil, which Noble Bell College is on an island in the middle of that river, and it's just the very obviously La Seine, which La Soleil in French means the sun, and La Seine in French means the moon, and the actual church Notre Dame is on an island in the middle of La Seine. So it's very obvious that Fleur City is just Paris.
I should just show a picture of the map from this event to our current exchange student because she is from France and lives 20 minutes and lives like not 20 minutes, like I don't know, some distance to Paris. I don't know. So I should just be like, what do you think of this layout? Does it look familiar to you? So yeah, they sing some song important to the culture. Everyone else is background dancers. And Rolo's just like, when did they even learn this? And they're like, before we even came, dude.
Yeah.
Like, Malice wanted to give you a gift for inviting you, and Trains just like suffer with it. And Rolo's still petty about it. He's like, they're still villains. Handkerchief. I don't like.
Handkerchief.
I know. And then they make some comment because the end you get a twist tune. It's beautiful, like opera singing stuff like that.
Mhm.
And
I
then
forget what this song
they
is
cut
called.
to it. I don't know. And Edie is like so embarrassed that he had to sing. He's like, that was so cringy. Such the cringiest thing I'd ever done. He's literally hiding behind pillars after this. It's great. And they're just like, how did you decide who was going to be the like main singers for this? And they're like, because Azul's making some comment and he's like, oh, they're like, Azul, you had such wonderful vocals. Like, how did you three get picked? And he's like, oh, we used Crowley's hat. Like, it was just so fortunate that we were picked as the three singers, and I'm just, you 100% rigged that. Don't even.
It's called.
And Edie is just going, Edie is just like, it is rigged. That thing is rigged, I swear.
It's called Make
Of
a
course
Wish.
it's
By the
rigged,
way,
at least for Azul.
it's called Make a Wish,
The song?
Yeah.
Okay.
and yeah, and that is basically the end of
So
it.
yeah,
And it is
it's
almost
great.
11. So
Oh gosh, I'm not gonna get any writing done tonight, am I? It's fine.
it's fine.
Participating in NaNoWriMo.
Woo.
So yeah, they also have it where Malice insists on dancing with Rolo, which I find so funny because one, I get it. They're all boys schools as far as we are aware. If you are dancing, you are going to be slow dancing with another guy. I get that. I have
Actually-
no judgment towards it, but I just find it so funny
I
that Malice is just like, Rolo, dance with me, and he's like, no. It would be rude to like say no to a guest, and he's just like, fine, give me your hand.
I don't think Noble Bell College
Angry
is an all
dancing.
boys school, because one of the sprites, it's either the vice president or the aide, looks very much like a
The
woman.
aide.
And they could just be
Yeah, but
androgynous,
all of them do.
but I don't think Noble Bell is
I
an
really
all boys
just assumed
school.
it was, and I just thought it was an androgynous
I don't know.
person because we have feminine-looking males at NRC,
guess.
obviously. So I just assumed all of them were.
I guess.
I just assumed Twisted Wonderland is sexist and doesn't let women participate in magic.
I don't know. It's
Woo.
the one with the longer hair, which
No, I'm sure there's probably yeah, the aid.
yeah. I don't know.
It's the aid because I remembered
Oh.
it. They're pretty.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they
they
looked
got
very
nice and
feminine
blue
to me,
hair.
but
Fair, and it's not like they use pronouns or anything as
Yeah.
far as I know, Or maybe I just ignored
I
them.
don't think they do.
I'm sure there's probably an all-girls school somewhere, but I'm just saying, like, reading through this event, I just pictured when they are dancing that it is all boys dancing with boys, because the only 2 schools we know about are all boys school. They never specify that any are different.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm aware of that, which, coming from homeschool group where you only get, like, 7 boys and none of them want to slow dance in general, that was an entertaining thought for me, but also just, like, one height difference, anyone with malice, and him just being so salty about it. Like, they just have, like, 6 slides of just ... And he's like, Rolo, I get you're focusing on dancing, but you've been awfully quiet. And he's like, I don't want to talk to you. He's like, you think I won, but I'll just try again. And they're just like, I look forward to when you will. We'll meet at the Bell of Solace again. I'd like to visit. Let me know when you'd like a rematch. And Malice is just... I love it.
It's so funny. And we are about to hit 2 hours on our recording. So...
I'm surprised we haven't hit it already.
And there it is.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if we should
probably
split it into 2, so it's like hour.
We already recorded it. And I don't have I'm going to Colossal this week, and I don't have time to edit. So.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to edit.
I'm not saying I'm not going to. I'm just saying I literally only have time to cram it into the one episode we usually do, especially with the technical difficulties.
I get it.
So,
I'm just saying.
I think
Technical difficulties.
I think at this point.
Do we need to make a...
I just said in the notes.
Okay,
I have already made the post for this episode in AO3 in my drafts, and I wrote in the notes as we were recording, we hope you enjoyed this extra long episode to make up for the technical difficulties we had. Ha ha ha.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, well, we should probably wrap up, because super long episode already, but at least it will be coming out fairly close to when the event ended. Yep. Maybe we'll get better at releasing them after they finish. Maybe we won't.
Maybe you two will get better at playing them on time. More specifically, Caden.
Okay, no, I can't even. I was ready to binge it, but then Caden said they hadn't, so I was like, okay, I won't stress about it. And then when I finished it, I was even thinking, I was like, watch, Caden's not gonna have played it.
Well.
But, like, I literally wouldn't have any time to record otherwise this week, so they can suffer.
Alright.
We'll just listen to this. So, yes, thank you for listening to mainly my voice for 2 hours, and sorry it sounds like this. My throat is dying, and it's just gonna get worse. It's a good thing we have an episode saved for next week, because I wouldn't be surprised if I lose my voice over the weekend, because we'll just say I'm in a play and I have 10 performances every weekend.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be real fun.
And I had one tonight before this, so.
Alright.
Oh, woo!
As I kind of hinted at earlier, I am going to a con this weekend, so it's not in the town where I'm living, so it's like 2 hours away, so I'm not bringing my laptop, so I'm gonna try to cram this all in before classes tomorrow morning, before I leave, and then to cram editing. It probably won't happen, but I will do my best.
You have classes on Saturday?
No. Tomorrow is Friday.
Right.
Tomorrow is Friday.
I'm getting thrown off. I forget, because I'm like, we have performances Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I just had performance. I had dress rehearsal.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening.
Mental calendar uninstalled itself this month. Bye.